I have made like numerous videos about Metroid Prime 4, probably dating back to like 2018, 2019. And honest to God, I have no idea how far in development this game is in. And at this point, I'm convinced that we'll probably get Mario Kart 9 before we get Metroid Prime 4 because I think Metroid Prime 4 was announced at E3 2017. Okay. And that was like 6 years ago. And here we are in 2023. We haven't seen any gameplay footage or anything like that. We have no idea what the story is going to be about. We do know it's going to be developed by Retro Studios, and there were a lot of people who were under the impression the um, that the developer was making a significant amount of progress in relation to the creation of Metroid Prime 4, but I read an article the other day on, I believe it was NintendoLife.com, that pretty much, I guess the developers, Retro Studio, they're actually hiring people for the development of Metroid Prime 4. So it really got me thinking and scratching my head as to how far are these guys in terms of the development of Metroid Prime 4. Because, I mean, like at this point, I feel like one of two things is going to happen. Prime 4 is going to end up becoming one of Nintendo's most anticipated releases ever, or it's going to get scrapped again because I believe Metroid Prime 4 was originally supposed to be developed by someone else. And I believe that developer didn't get a chance to finish Metroid Prime 4 because Nintendo claimed that it didn't live up to their expectations quality wise for the Switch console. And, understandably so, because the Metroid series is one of the most popular video game franchises that Nintendo has going for it, aside from Mario and Zelda and what have you. And honestly, I'm actually a bit shocked. I'm pretty sure we'll probably hear more about Metroid Prime 4. At least I'm hoping that we hear more about Metroid Prime 4 and Nintendo's next direct presentation, because I believe they're supposed to be having a direct presentation coming up sometime in the near future. But I wouldn't necessarily count on Metroid Prime 4 to come out in 2024 either. I mean, it would be a pleasant surprise if it did release in 2024, but you look at how long the Switch console's been out now. The Switch console's been out since 2017, so it's been about 6 years. And we know that after every like 6 or 7 years or what have you, whether it's Sony, Microsoft, or Nintendo, they always jump to the new generation console, or they move forward in terms of making another generation console. And the thing is, I do feel that sometime in the future, Nintendo's definitely going to release another console as a successor to the Switch. But I do feel that if Nintendo waited to release Metroid Prime 4 for a next gen game console, that could be something that can get a lot of casuals and hardcore fans of the Metroid series to buy their next gen console. And but at the same time, I mean, you look at Nintendo Switch. I mean, it's managed to reach over 100 million in terms of units sold. So if they release Metroid Prime 4 for the Switch console, more people would have access to it when it's released. I think at this point, it's just the game is in developmental hell, and maybe Retro Studios is understaffed. But the thing is, Metroid Prime, 1, 2, and 3, those games are going to be really hard to follow. It's going to be kind of hard to get people emotionally invested in Metroid Prime 4, considering the fact that Metroid Prime 3 came out like in the late 2000s. I believe it came out in '07. And I guess trying to pick up where they left off, about like 15 years or so ago, that's going to be a challenge. And I do think it's something that Nintendo can definitely they could definitely make it happen, because I remember when Metroid Prime came out in '02, there was almost like a decade gap between that and Super Metroid, which came out on the SNES back in '93, I believe. And Metroid Prime from '02 ended up becoming like one of the best installments in the entire series. So who knows? Maybe this this break between games is something that is needed. It's not like the Metroid series has been completely dead because we got Metroid Dread a couple of years back, and that was considered to be one of the best Metroid games that we have gotten in quite a while as well. So it's not like the series is like completely dead and no one's paying attention to it. I do feel that Metroid Prime 4 is going to be more about gameplay wise. How's it going to be different from its predecessors? And is the storyline going to be compelling? I think those two things are going to be the main um, those are going to be the main features that people are going to look at in terms of assessing whether or not Metroid Prime 4 is going to be a huge success or not. But until then, um, I have no idea how far in development Retro Studios is in Metroid Prime 4, but a lot of people are keeping their fingers crossed and hoping that the game's released sometime in either 2024 or 2025.